Welcome to the Head Shepherd podcast. I'm your host, Mark Ferguson, CEO at Next and Agri International, where we help livestock managers get the best out of their stock. Before we get started, a big thanks to our three fantastic sponsors. Allflex, part of MSD, perhaps better known as Cooper's Animal Health in Australia, offers one of New Zealand and Australia's largest livestock product portfolios with a comprehensive suite of animal health and management products. Heininger is a one-stop shop for wool harvesting and animal fibre removal. The Heininger team have a deep understanding of livestock agriculture, backed by Swiss engineering and a family business dedicated to manufacturing the best. ProA Livestock Equipment have been delivering industry-leading livestock handling systems to producers across Australia, New Zealand and beyond for the last 25 years to improve on-farm safety, efficiency and profitability. We are grateful to our sponsors for their support, helping us bring Head Shepherd to you each week. And now it's time to get on with this week's episode. G'day, Ferg here. Welcome back to Head Shepherd. Hope 2026 is treating you well. If you're listening to this live, that is, you'll be a couple of weeks into the year and hopefully all has gone well. This week on the show, we welcome Samantha Wan, or Sam Wan, from Elders. Sam's a wool quality assurance and marketing manager and auctioneer at Elders, based in Melbourne. Sam's story is one that pretty much challenges every assumption about who is in ag. Sam's a first-generation Australian with no background in ag, growing up in the suburbs of Sydney, who is now a key part of the Elders wool team. They're based in Melbourne and does all things around marketing wool. Has absolutely gone out of her way to understand everything there is to know about the wool industry, right down to the point of buying her own piece of land and running a few sheep and producing her own merino wool. It's a great story for those out there who are wondering whether they should get into the agriculture industry and whether it's for them. Sam has just used all the networks and asked a lot of questions and really gone out of her way to forge her career in the industry, which is fantastic to see and to watch. So without any further ado, we'll welcome Sam Wan onto Head Shepherd. Welcome, Samantha Wan, to Head Shepherd.
Thanks very much for having me, Ferg. Great to have the chance to have a chat with you.
Yeah, I think we tried about 4 or 5 years ago, and I don't know. Anyway, I didn't get there, so we're here now, which is awesome.
Yeah, time like the present.
Great to be having a chat. This probably sounds a bit stalker, but I have been watching you for a long time, so it's been great to see your career expand and continue to grow. So yeah, great to be able to yarn through that today, and hopefully inspire lots of other young women in the industry. But we might start right at the beginning. You obviously not from an agricultural background, growing up in Western Sydney, no family connection to agriculture. Talk to us about how you ended up in ag generally.
So it was just a completely different world, and I really enjoyed the practical side of doing things, which probably was the exciting bit. Grew up with, pet goldfish and budgies and guinea pigs. So the idea of having sheep or being able to go to school and see that kind of world was pretty exciting. High school agriculture was like following broiler chickens to finishing and, learning how to finish up fencing, preparing sheep for local shows. So it really opened up outside of the world. And, the show side of it definitely went outside of school, which led to meeting other sheep producers, wool producers, being able to learn from them, being able to chat to them, work with their sheep. And then, unfortunately for them, once I got a license, able to go out and visit their farm. So high school ag and those black corridors really just did open up my whole world beyond Blacktown and the suburbs, which has been amazing.
Phenomenal. So there was obviously a bit of an animal bent if you had a few different things growing up, and that's what maybe that was the starting spark, or you don't really remember?
No, well, I did like horses and ponies and stuff, but they were outside the budget. So it may have just been a case that something else was more accessible. I'm not sure.
Black corridors would be more in the budget. Yeah, exactly. So Sydney Uni, and then into a trainee program at Melbourne. I guess. Yeah. What was do you remember back when you were sort of thinking about what career you're wanting to head into, and obviously you'd made that decision to actually study ag, and then I guess to have that confidence to say, right, I can make it in the wool industry regardless of the fact I've got sort of zero background in it.
Definitely not. So I guess I had a pretty blank slate figuring out what I was, where I fit, really what I wanted to do, and the encouragement was just endless. So it didn't feel like a leap into the unknown. I just had to get there at some point and then show up, which I had a great base of a community that were watching out for me, connecting me with their friends, which turned into families opening their doors to businesses that I only really got to read about in like the Land or the newspaper. And it wasn't just this like endless encouragement that was just like this fluffy niceness per se. It was just really great kind of critical delivery, how to improve, how it was done that way. It wasn't like, you go to school and you're in an art class and someone didn't like how you shaped some clay or something like that. So it was that perspective of knowing what was not wrong, but maybe not right, or what could be better and what could be improved, and other ways of seeing things, which really kind of built that encouragement along the way.
Obviously, people saw your thirst for knowledge and I guess genuine interest in everything. So I don't know, in my world, people who ask lots of questions, people were always willing to help. And I'm wondering, I'm thinking that's the kind of kid you were.
Asking all the questions that may not have been, I'll say dumb questions, but yeah, just really wanted to know, and I didn't know. And that really, if I didn't take the opportunity to ask then, it was kind of, well, if I don't ask then, I might not be here, or something else might have taken me on a different track. So I'm glad that there was a lot of people with a lot of patience.
Excellent. I think they'd be very proud sitting back watching your career, I'm sure. And I think that's what's great about ag. And I guess maybe it's great about every industry. It's just ag, there's the one we know, but there's a massive amount of support for young people who want to get in there and have a crack. There's lots of people who will get around them and help them do that.
Oh, hugely. And so many that go out of their way. Like I said, it's not just a case of sending you off to some, not hotel, but like a motel and sitting you somewhere. It really is opening doors and that experience, and really it's not a fake way to learn things. It's really what happens day to day, and it's their businesses and their livelihoods, which really brings home that reality, but really cements it as what it means.
Yeah, 100%. I guess what would you say? I get a few phone calls from people that sometimes from people's parents and stuff to like that are looking to, they know they've got a kid with some passion for the industry, but maybe they're a bit scared to pick up the phone and ring people. What would you say to those people listening out there? And what I say is just pick up the phone. Everyone will chat. Everyone will find time. I'm hoping you'd agree with me.
Most definitely. It's wholly asking the questions. You can't hear the questions if they're not voiced. Definitely giving it a go. Volunteering itself was huge for me from a local show perspective, because particularly not having a license in those early days, local shows were kind of a way that brought all different people together, whether it was sheep or chickens or goats or whatever else, and in turn those opportunities, and that was a really great way to build networks and in turn go to other shows that they might be happy to try and sort transport or something like that for you if you just show a bit of interest.
Yeah. Excellent. So, I guess we'll move into what has been quite a long career now. From a trainee in 2012 through to lots of different, I guess, accolades and increases through a rise through elders. What drives that passion these days? Is it still the same sort of passion for sheep and wool, or is it moulded over the years?
I think it's definitely moulded over years, and it's definitely a few years in the making and learnings in that now. It's kind of good to look back, not considered one of the young ones anymore, but agriculture and just the Australian wool industry and then the international wool industry is just such a dynamic place. There's so many different views for so many different reasons, which means there's always something more to learn. So I've been fortunate that those experiences have led to things over the years, whether it's going and seeing mills in Italy or going across to China and conferences and things as well. Being able to learn from the passionate people, I think, really builds that momentum across ag and wool, and just this feeling of purpose and this great sense of belonging, particularly being first generation Australian born. Agriculture is definitely and will have been a place that I felt comfortable in, and that community just really is a constant driver. Just being able to talk to people like yourselves or being on socials and connecting with others who might have something going on in their place and learning about that as well.
Yeah, excellent. I guess we might talk through what the sort of innovations at Elders you've sort of led or been a big part of, things like internal podcasts, live streaming wool auctions, valuation systems, or I guess bringing, without being too stereotypical. You bring some youth into an industry that may not be full of youth, or at least wasn't. But there's obviously lots of great young people involved in the industry right throughout it. But I guess talk us through that process of innovation that you brought to what is a very old business in Elders that's been around for a long time.
I think that's part of the charm, though, with agriculture and wool. So it's that tradition that's probably drawn me into that. There's things that have been the same way, and it's been that way for a reason. And it's proven and it's worked, and that's been fantastic. I do enjoy problems and tech and seeing how things could have been done better with what's on hand. I think if I hadn't gone into agriculture, IT was the next directive I was kind of looking into from like a systems perspective and just that cause and effect. And just sometimes being able to see a space between deadlines to be able to see something a little bit wider. Because I think often when it comes to, say, convincing someone to try something new, it's less about convincing them that, there's something wrong and more about framing like a new, different solution and showing the advantages of that. So I haven't come across like too much resistance. I've been very fortunate to be a part of a very supportive environment where if we can do things better, and again, being fortunate to be surrounded by people who look to do things better as well.
Excellent. You must have been relatively excited walking into the new Elders wool store when it first launched. It's a fairly phenomenal. It's got to be the best in the world, I'm assuming, by a fair margin in terms of the tech that's used in there.
Look, driving up every day, it's amazing. It's incredible to see the efficiencies and look, the Australian industry is a standout. So to be able to use tech and then hearing some of the, a lot of the equipment in there it's not reinvented, it's not new, it's been in other industries in manufacturing for 30 plus years. Like, why can't wool and Australian agriculture have cool things like that? So it's great to see that crossover.
Yeah, cool. Maybe just for those who don't know what we're on about, just talk us through that new facility and the sort of automation and I've actually haven't seen it in person. I've only read about it, but it sounds pretty cool.
You'll definitely have to come across. There's definitely a few videos out there if you need to check that. So it is a world first wool handling facility, and the emphasis has been on sustainability and efficiency as well. So there's a lot of equipment in there that's purpose built. So everything from QR codes that are branded on the bales to give identification as soon as they come in. There's been some different industry initiatives that unfortunately weren't commercialised at the time that the facility was being built. We do have AGVs that move the bales, so 10 high, so as opposed to a traditional warehouse where bales are stacked on top of each other. Look, in this day and age of labour, OH&S, and even cost of real estate, being able to take those bales literally sky high has been an incredible innovation. The software all behind it has all been purpose built. So everything that I'm working on each day when it comes to looking at growers' wool, seeing their specs and everything has all been tailored to fit and fit that efficiency in. So it definitely is. It's exciting to be a part of, and it's there's been challenges, but it's been great to see it evolve and it continues to do so. So there's more excitement coming up, I think.
Very cool. One of the things you took on a while back now is auctioneering. I've sat in wool auctions and have had zero clue what the hell's going on, and I've tried a few times and never been really able to follow it. We actually did a course back in the day you had to try and fill a spec as a buyer, and it is a rapid environment. That must have been relatively stressful the first day you picked up the hammer.
Most definitely. I was a kid when I did junior judging in high school that was terrified of the speaking side of it. I loved to have the order of the sheet, but I didn't want to be brought up in front of a bunch of people. And that really came down to, again, the support of the people that I was working with and the mentors that I've had in terms of preparation. You weren't on your own in that, and this was a great way to build profile and also take that next step into being part of, the wool's journey, the grower's journey into where their wool is going. Because I think the importance wasn't lost on me that it takes, the 12 months and the pain and the sweat and the tears and the environment, things that are outside of control to get wool to the point where it's, in a sample box ready for us to value. And auctioneering is such a small part of it, but that really is the point where, the money hits the ground and that's that return to the grower. So I really wanted to make sure I knew what I was selling and how to do it the best way, and just having great mentors who have, tell you to save your breath one way or be able to focus and count white posts on the highway. So there was a lot of that being done.
Yeah. Is it completely comfortable now? You walk in there and it's just like making a cup of coffee, or is it still the odd butterfly as you enter into a wool auction?
It is still butterflies. I think one of the courses that I did, it was about butterflies. It was a media training course. It was like about butterflies are fine, but you just got to make them dance or fly the way you want to. And it really is. There are times you see the market, you know you're going to be in for a tougher day. The buyers are in there, or you're watching the dollar, you're watching what's happening overseas and politics. There's all these factors, but it's really been able to hone in and focus, because that grower doesn't care, you know, if you had the traffic on the way into work. Like, that's not important. That's not none of all of that. You've got to show up and be there, and that's what the job is to do. And it's quite interesting sometimes when it's been a tough day, whether it's quality schemes or dealing with different stakeholders, it can be a bit stressful. Being able to go into the auction room and know that that's your single purpose is actually quite, it's almost like a meditative state. I actually had my smartwatch thing on the other day, and it after I got out of the room after about 40 minutes, it clocked a restful period, which I thought was quite fascinating. The market was humming, it was the highest, the bidding was fast, it was incredible, but you just got into this zone, which was incredible to see on, heart rate stats.
Yeah, that is phenomenal. I don't think I've ever been on stage and my heart rate dropping, but anyway, that's good to see. Yeah. Cool. I guess wool is now kind of a big chunk of your life, or all of your life almost. Well, I don't know what else you do, but there's lots of wool stuff in your life. So yeah, I mean, you've gone out of your way to really understand every aspect of the industry, I guess, and now obviously even growing a bit yourself and taking product through to market. I guess is that. Yeah, what drives that is that's you just fallen in love with the fibre and continue to want to know everything there is to know about it.
I think so. It really does come down to that. Opportunity, being able to, again, have support. We've got some land now and we're looking to buy sheep. Well, have you thought about, you got to see this genetics on the show floor. How about you have a chat to them and see if they can cut out 50 of their ewes and see where you're going with that. It is just a case of being able, it's a huge learning thing. There's one thing as like a tech person in wool to see and report back, the grower thought that the wool should have been stronger. Now on the show floor, this is what it is, and this is, that's the result, versus what was happening on the farm, and how was the feed on that time, and how does that all fit and flow. So definitely dealing with more stakeholders and brands, and that understanding of being able to present the story of growers by being able to understand a lot more has been a big part of it. It doesn't allow for a lot of free time, but it's a different energy. Yeah. No, I'm thinking you haven't got a lot of time between a range of different things you do as volunteer to tell wool story, and when you did have time, or when you do have time, you get to schools, and so obviously paying it forward is something that is driving you as well. Most definitely. I think we wouldn't be having this conversation, I think, if it hadn't been for some amazing people that took the time, had the patience, wanted to answer those questions, and have, not show me once, maybe had to show me 2 or 3 different times. So that really stems back to, definitely being able to be there for someone else who might be on the fence there, or might be thinking of what they're doing, and just to be able to show them what an incredible industry ag and wool is in Australia, and wider, and how many opportunities there are out there. Because, definitely opportunities of what have fueled me. It hasn't been stagnant, to say the least. The momentum that picks up, you're chatting to one person one day and there's an opportunity somewhere else. So it's definitely, it's a brilliant way to work and to be part of what you're involved in. Is there any risk of, I guess, burnout? It's something we get heard mentioned and we see happen. I mean, you're flat out doing lots of things, but I guess, I don't know, I think sometimes it's easier when it's something you're passionate about, definitely it's easier when it's something you're passionate about. Are you sort of ever get stressed that you're taking on too much? Most definitely. Look, balance is pretty careful. I've kind of grown through it, and knowing priorities and readjusting priorities. Again, I have been fortunate to be part of different courses, whether it's in sales or professional development, to recognise markers in yourself. I've had to learn to say no. I've had to learn how to park things, like that things won't disappear if you don't do it straight away. Good people around me are also really great reminders. Not be, go to the local ag store and just have people that I know just be like, yeah, you're looking a bit, is everything okay? So sometimes it does take that little bit of check-in, which is great. And there's nothing worse than when I want to try something new and I'm conscious that I don't have the time to, because hyperfixation is pretty real. I have been known to, you forget to sleep, you just really want to get it done and see if it's going to work. But it's learning. It's a case of rein it in till there's a more appropriate time. But then there are some things that use a different energy. So I'm quite happy I'll drive an hour and a half home each day, but there's a new energy when it comes to, going out and checking the weaners out in the paddock, and it makes for a pretty satisfying day or week or month or whatever it is, depending on how long the process is.
Yeah, cool. Talk us through you purchased 16 hectares with Tom. Talk us through. It must have been pretty cool that day when you went from remembering you had a few budgies in the backyard through to owning your own little place.
That's it. It's still been exciting. I get to drive home and I still can't believe that this is home now. COVID was a really tough time in Melbourne. So I grew up in Sydney, moved down to Melbourne for the job, and then suddenly there was, lockdowns and whatnot. And even before COVID, we'd been chalking up a few issues with neighbours in the suburbs, like midnight high-bass music, and you lean over the fence to say, what's going on, and they're indoors and they've got all the doors shut. So it was just inconsiderate stuff that we weren't going very well with. Tom is originally from Central West New South Wales, so every time we went away, you'd see the real estate listings on Google that he was having a look at. So going back into that central area was a bit tougher with work and whatnot, but our own place was definitely a priority. If we didn't run sheep, I guess now, when would we? I wish we'd done it earlier, because I'm definitely the age thing and the tire, lifting and moving panels. I wish I had done it a lot earlier. Probably the healthiest we've ever been though. And it was definitely this romantic kind of full circle at the time, but we had to at least try. And we know it's not a romance. We've learnt about cost of fencing in dollars and in sweat time. The joys of blackberry season's been a bit challenging with feed, and then balancing that with, making sure we've got a good product going to market. Then we're in this kind of awkward spot that we're not quite pet small, but we want things done right, because I'm used to seeing how things are done right. And this season I've learned a lot about water rights. So it's been a lot of learnings this season, that's for sure.
Yeah. So you didn't, there was no option other than to run Renos. That was the only thing you could ever put on that place.
I think so. Look, this far south as well, there was a lot, in-laws ran they swapped from the kind of hobby Merinos to a couple of Aussie whites, but it was definitely time and place. If we didn't, we can always, if we needed to, I don't know if I'll live it down later on down the track. But I think that had to be the start, and we'll see. We'll give it a good shake. We'll give it a good crack. It's amazing to see, shearing time, as small as we are, it is kind of special. We have our one bale that's sitting in Melbourne at the moment, ready to go up for sale in the new year, and it's just amazing to see it there. Like I said, it's a full circle. It is a little bit of a romantic story, but it really solidifies all the support that we've had throughout the entire time. It's definitely not just been us. Our neighbours have been bombarded with questions. Our friends have, our old mentors. It's just a constant, and it's a great way to keep in touch with people.
Yeah, exactly. Do you get to put your bale under the hammer? Will you be auctioneering that?
That's generally, have in the past. So our first line that went up for auction. Our second year actually sold privately in a contract, which was kind of exciting. And then we'll see how the market is playing out this year into next year. It's looking pretty solid, which is a great way to end 2025, and we'll just see it continue on.
Yeah, I don't know if we should go into the market. And we didn't prep you for talking market, but obviously it is. You would have been through the highs and lows of the wool industry in your time in it. You would have seen a range of different prices, and it always is a bit challenging as a commodity that can change around a bit. But we look like we're moving into a better cycle at the moment.
And it's speaking to some growers, even just as early as last week, we need it to be higher. We definitely need that. that demand side, and that's where, trying to be able to sell wool products or promote wool products to different demographics or different areas. I think we're all part of that story. It's just that we need that appreciation to come back. But yeah, look, I've been in the industry for such a small time compared to so many others who have seen, like I love reading the books and the history of how it was, but it'd be great to have it as another heyday when wool was king all over again.
Yeah, for sure. You have started a wool brand. Haven't done enough research to know much about it, but you sell a bit of product.
Getting there, yeah. So it's again opportunity. So I thought if I don't ask now, I won't know if selling wool clothing would be a $50,000 investment or a $5,000 one. So spoke to a couple of people in the industry and they pointed me a few different directions, and I've just been fortunate to partner with IO Merino, who's based out of Adelaide. So this is a business with 140 years experience. They're going to forget more stuff than I ever get to learn. So to be able to dovetail in with what they're doing has been an incredible experience. And then to learn the marketing side, I was told, marketing's not easy on that end, and I'm well aware, but being able to have that safety net of, my house isn't full of inventory or anything like that. I can pace it out, and if things are getting a bit difficult with work, or if things happening here get a bit too hectic, it doesn't hurt me as much. I'm a bit protected on that risk side, that I'm not, oh no, I need to sell 100 of whatever in a certain amount of time. I'm still just finding my way in between everything else.
Oh, cool. Yeah, no, absolutely flat out, obviously. So, but cool. It would be good to see that rolling out. The one thing you mentioned is that you can't be what you can't see. I guess just by default, you're providing a fantastic leadership for young people out there everywhere. Young women, obviously, but just people that like just coming from no background in ag at all, but being able to come through and now be a critical part of a value chain. It's an awesome thing an awesome lead for people to follow. Has that been, I don't know how you view that, is that sort of a secondary result of being successful, or is it something that you actually think about, or is it just is what it is?
I think it all comes through all together. Again, the support and being where I am because other people have given me that time of day and that space to do what I'm doing and do it my way, which has been pretty amazing. It's been a part of the conversations and using the skills that I've picked up from a technical point of view and being able to present that as best I can, whether it's coming down to some of the quality schemes coming through or policy that's there as well. But being visible, it is a bit of a tricky one, particularly in this day and age with social media. It can be the best thing and the worst thing. I try and do my best, but conscious that, there's a lot more to it, and having a day job and everything else, again, priorities have got to shift. But there's been opportunities that have come out, whether it's just because someone's come across me on Google and have wanted to have a chat, or just want to send us a message and talk about things. And if it means that, one, that they had the confidence to reach out, I think that's a great first step. And I think the more of that happens, it's just being able to share those great kind of stories about what is happening in the industry as well, and seeing that positivity, because I definitely wouldn't be here and definitely wouldn't have these great chances. And it really is a community that's given me a place of belonging. So I think someone had shared a stat around like loneliness in some of the younger generations now. I've been pretty fortunate that I haven't felt that. And it really just comes down to ag, because you can just call up and see what someone's doing on their place and talk the season or anything else. It's it is a sense of belonging. It's going to get a bit emotional if I keep going on this one, but it is. Someone else might see and go, well, if she could grow up in Blacktown and not even have a pet dog, and suddenly she's driving around the countryside and visiting farms and having these great experiences, heading overseas to talk about wool, then, why not me?
Oh, yeah, 100%. And add value to an industry. So, yeah, great. Thank you. Sam, the last couple of questions we ask a couple we asked everyone, and I'm thinking I might change these for 2026. So you might be one of the last people to get asked this set of questions. I don't know. We'll see how that rolls. But the first one is, what is the last thing you changed your mind about?
Yeah, this one needed a bit of thinking. So changed my mind about like what I'm going to have for dinner. So everything changes so fleetingly. But probably the biggest thing I've changed my mind about is, and particularly on this marketing side, with marketing a small range of wool items to, today's consumer that's got short attention spans or wants to know specific things, is choice. And that I changed my mind about how choice could be helpful. I thought more options would give people more freedom. And I quickly realized it just creates this overwhelm, and it makes it really difficult to actually sell them something because they don't actually know. So with the range with Iron Merino that I've got going, I've literally got, I think, 3. It's one colour. It is black. Like that's very Melbourne-esque. I only have 3 styles, and previously I had 2 logo placements, and I've just turfed them. So simplicity can actually be a kind thing in this day and age, I think, when it comes to overthinking. So yeah, that's probably the biggest one that I've changed recently.
Yeah, that's awesome. And that's something that I listened to a fair few podcasts on marketing, and it's very clear. Like lots of examples. If you put on 15 jams on a jam stand, you don't sell any. If you put on 2 or 3, then you sell some. And it's the same thing. People can't handle the choice basically, and so we'll make 0 choice and move on. And I think, I don't know who I was talking to, but someone was talking about how we provide other colours so people could confirm that they want to buy black when they buy merino stuff. So it was, but yeah, everyone buys black anyway. So
it's such a universal colour. It's timeless. But no, I can see, and look, all the marketing things I've read as well, like different sizes. And, when you go to Macca's and you buy it, you've got the large, medium, small, and the price offering. There's all the psychology behind it, which is fantastic. But when I'm just trying to get people to experience, we'll just realise merino and what it is, just narrowing it down in that space makes it helpful from my end too.
Yeah, excellent. This one might be pretty tough to answer, considering there've been lots of humans that you've learnt from. But I guess is there a few you can single out as people that you've had the great pleasure to learn from?
I love the human side. So look, definitely been fortunate to learn just incredible things from leading very experienced sheep wool producers, brokers, buyers, policymakers. But I think all of that, I've really just got to bring it back to say that, the best human was probably the one that set me on my path, and that was really my high school ag teacher. So Michael Collar, he's now retired. If his ability hadn't been what it was, I probably wouldn't have had the encouragement really early on to go and learn from all these other leaders. He probably gave me the confidence to actually go out there and give it a go. So it's really that foundation side. But look, there have been countless people, some who, you learn something from in such a short period, but some that you just keep going back to and keep learning from them every day.
Yeah, cool. That's a great story. And there is some fantastic ag teachers out there, which I'm sure have set many a career alight. And we definitely don't have enough of those great people in our industry. And there's always a bit of a struggle to get enough people or get enough good ag teachers in front of enough people. But it's a great story that without those people, nothing happens. Without the spark, you can't have the fire. Exactly right. Yep.
A huge appreciation of the work that they do.
Awesome. Thanks, Sam. Really great to have a chat. And it'll be, I don't know, we will actually meet in person one of these days, and I'll come and see that fancy wool store of yours. And
most definitely.
But I really appreciate your time and congratulations on a fantastic career so far, and look forward to see where you get to.
Fantastic. Thanks so much. It's been a great chat, and look forward to meeting in person and being out at Ravenhall.
Thanks, Sam.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thanks again to Heineken, who are proud world leaders in the manufacturing and supply of professional sheep shearing and clipping equipment. Thank you to MNSD Animal Health and Norflex Livestock Intelligence. They offer an extensive livestock product portfolio focused on animal health management, all backed up by exceptional service. We thank both of these companies for their ongoing support of the Head Shepherd podcast.